All right, guys. So, unfortunately, we have to talk about another mass shooting that has happened in this country. This time out in Monterey Park, which is, I believe, near Los Angeles. Now, this mass shooting primarily affected the Asian community as this took place at a ballroom dance studio. As there were Lunar New Year celebrations going on. So again, mainly, people in the Asian community, I guess, they were out celebrating, and some lunatic decided to open fire and to kill people indiscriminately. And there was a second spot that the shooter had went to before being stopped by the people there from actually committing a mass shooting, in which he then tried to run away. And as of the making of this video, the details around the suspect is sketchy in regards to whether or not he's actually still alive. There are some reports that suggest that he's barricaded in like a white van or something, and that police were trying to get the suspect. They're looking for the suspect. There's some reports that the suspect has deleted himself from the game. So I'm not entirely sure as I'm making this video in regards to the exact details about the suspect. Again, a lot of details on this story are scarce, which is why it took me so long to get to it. So that being said, I actually want to go ahead and play a quick news clip here so that you guys can get kind of a more general understanding about what's going on in this situation. Take a look.
Breaking news out of Southern California, tragedy unfolding at a Lunar New Year celebration. At this point, we are hearing at least 10 people have been killed.
Police say the shooting happened at a dance hall in Monterey Park, about 10 miles east of Los Angeles. Keep in mind, it's 4:30 in the morning there. Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore following the breaking details from the newsroom. Crystal, good morning.
Good morning, Michelle and Mike. Police are searching for the killer at this hour. The shooting taking place inside a ballroom dance club. Here's what we know so far. According to officials, the shooting happened around 10 o'clock Saturday night, not far from where tens of thousands of people celebrated the Monterey Park Chinese Lunar New Year festival. It's considered one of the largest gatherings in that part of California. Now, shots rang out after the celebration ended earlier in the evening. Police saying at least 10 people have been killed, another 10 have been injured. Video showing police and fire units responding to an area on Garvey Avenue. Paramedics could be seen loading patients on ambulances and treating them right at the scene. We're told that when police arrived, people were running out of the dance hall. What was supposed to be a fun weekend quickly turned tragic. Police updating the community on the investigation.
The festival that occurred Saturday also extended to Sunday. Out of an abundance of caution and in reverence for the victims, we are canceling the event that's going to happen later today. So the Lunar Festival here in Monterey Park has been canceled.
Now, we're also learning that police are investigating a second scene, but no one was hurt there. We're also learning that the area where the shooting took place is predominantly Asian American. No word yet, though, on a motive.
Paramedics rushed to treat the victims, many of whom are Asian American. This small city east of Los Angeles is home to a large Asian community and was hosting a Lunar New Year festival this weekend that attracts thousands.
We will look at every angle as far as whether it's a hate crime or not. It's just too early in the investigation to know whether this incident was a hate crime or not.
I heard some sounds going off and I was like, fireworks?
This resident said he heard a sound that he now knows was gunfire.
It's very surprising, shocking to hear that something like this went on in not only a small city, but my city.
Authorities have said little about the suspect, but say he fled the scene and remains at large. A manhunt is underway, and Sunday's festival has now been called off.
Out of an abundance of caution and in reverence for the victims, we are canceling the event that's going to happen later today. So the Lunar Festival here in Monterey Park has been canceled.
The LA County Sheriff's Department says state officials and the FBI are already joining in the investigation as another community sees how a celebration can be torn apart by violence. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Yeah, so I'm not going to come out here and make any assumptions about who did it or why they did it, whether it's a hate crime or not, or motivations behind it, because one, I think it's important to respect the families that lost their loved ones and not to speculate on why something was done before you actually know, just to use it for political gain. And I think that just makes you a respectable person. However, because Democrats are not respectable, they can't help but, again, to jump the gun and to try to make assumptions about who did this before all the facts come out. And you guys already know what the Democrats are crying anytime one of these mass shootings happens. They're crying white supremacy. That's what they're crying here. And we have no other than Senator Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, and other liberals blaming the Monterey shooting on bigotry before the facts come out. Right? So let's read here about the actual gunman. A gunman killed 10 people and injured 10 others at a Southern California ballroom dance studio Saturday amid Lunar New Year celebrations. 20 to 30 minutes later, a man with a gun entered the Lai Lai Ballroom in nearby Alhambra, but patrons wrestled the gun away from him and he fled, authorities said. Yeah, so here is the suspect. This suspect does not look like a white supremacist. The suspect is actually an Asian man between the age of 30 to 50. Now, as of the making of this video, the suspected shooter has been found dead. Okay, he's been found dead, so he deleted himself, so it appears. And that's basically all we have as of the making of this video in regards to a possible motive, which we may never know because he deleted himself. Despite police not releasing the suspect's identity or race, some liberals on Twitter were quick to pin the horror on white supremacy and anti-Asian hate before all the facts were known. Chuck Schumer says, I am heartbroken by the news of the shooting in Monterey Park amid Lunar New Year celebrations. You're not heartbroken. You're actually excited. You're excited because, again, you get the opportunity to now try to score cheap political points off the backs of dead people. I'm praying for the victims, their families, the first responders. We must stand up to bigotry and hate whenever they rear their ugly heads, and we must keep working to stop gun violence. Again, it's just funny to me the angles that they take, right? So in a state like California that has strict gun laws, they're, again, taking the, we got to stop guns, right? It's the guns' fault angle, okay? But California has strict gun laws. And then they're taking the hate and bigotry angle as well, too. They take both just in case they get one wrong, right? Just in case they miss one, okay? However, they had no clue who the suspect was, right? They had no clue what their race was. They had no clue about motivations. They had no clue about anything. And we all know when they say hate and bigotry, they don't mean like an evil person that just, went out and committed this crime like a lunatic. No, they mean racism. They mean white supremacy. They mean, oh, we hope this was a white guy so that we can virtue signal and score points off of it. Adam Schiff says, 10 dead in Monterey Park. I am sickened. A horrific example of needless gun violence with bigotry towards AAPI individuals as a possible motive. Again, what evidence does he have to support that suggestion? None. Okay, he's just saying it because, again, this is the game for the Democrats. People die in a mass shooting. They die in a tragedy. If they happen to be so-called people of color, you automatically blame whites. You try to say it's hate and bigotry. It's hate towards them, okay? If the shooter turns out not to be white, then you pivot towards, well, it's the guns, right? That is what they do. The families are in my prayers as we seek information by law enforcement. We'll never quit demanding real action on gun safety. You see how they do? They do both. Just in case they miss one, they do both. Meanwhile, hashtag Stop Asian Hate. Many Twitter users condemn the violence, punctuating their tweets with hashtag Stop Asian Hate. This person, Francesca Hong, says, heart is beyond heavy for the victims and their loved ones. Lunar New Year is a time of togetherness, celebration, and love. This tragedy is beyond hate. We are broken as a nation to mass shootings and white supremacy reign terror. Our community is shattered. Again, this person is making a statement with no evidence whatsoever that this had anything to do with white supremacy. Okay? And this person is a state representative in Wisconsin making a claim that is white supremacy with no evidence whatsoever. Incredible. Let's not forget this individual as well, Esther Tseng. She says, what I want to say is Happy Lunar New Year. Another mass shooting, Monterey Park. Still surprised, silo all this time. Our joy, our resistance, never knew the safety you profess to miss. Can we please build coalition against white supremacy? when your surprise is done. Yeah, so again, here we go. Blaming white supremacy. Blaming white supremacy. You don't know if this person is white. You don't have any information on this person, but they're automatically saying it's a white guy, right? It's white supremacy. Amazing how that works. Authorities said Sunday they know the suspect's name, but declined to release it because it could complicate their ability to apprehend him. They released a photo showing an Asian man wearing glasses and a winter hat. The image was taken from the attempted shooting in Alhambra. Chester Chong, chairman of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Los Angeles, told ABC7 that the mass shooting was over a domestic dispute. So it was personal, which is basically the cause of a lot of these mass shootings. It's not hate. It's not bigotry. A lot of stuff is just personal. Okay? It doesn't make it any better or worse. It's just, again, a lot of it's not racism and hate. It's simply like, okay, this person had a personal dispute, and that's why they did it. Which, again, a lot of these people, again, they take these personal disputes and they, take it out in the worst way because they're lunatics. They're insane, right? Only an insane, evil person can do something like that. And that's really what we should focus on when it comes to these conversations is mental health and how just some of these people are just evil. By midday, Sunday, police and tactical vehicles and bomb squad trucks surrounded a white van in a parking lot in Torrance, located roughly 30 miles southwest of Monterey Park. A law enforcement source told Fox News that an individual inside the van had shot and killed himself. Hours earlier, Los Angeles Sheriff Robert Luna said authorities were looking for a white van after witnesses reported seeing the suspect flee from Alhambra in such a vehicle. The sheriff declined to say what type of gun was recovered in Alhambra. He said investigators believe the gun used in Monterey Park was not an assault rifle. Now, they reported that initially the gun he used was a long, scary, big assault weapon. Again, trying to fit a certain narrative here, okay? The sheriff declined to say what type of gun was recovered in Alhambra. He said investigators believe the gun used in Monterey Park was not an assault rifle. The shooting and manhunt sent a wave of fear through Asian American communities in the Los Angeles area and cast a shadow over Lunar New Year festivities around the country. Yeah, so again, thoughts and prayers with the families of the victims of this tragic event. Again, it must be tough to, be celebrating the new year and, some lunatic comes in and commits this type of act of violence. We see this all too often in this country, and it definitely doesn't help when, Democrats and liberals come out here and automatically want to jump to conclusions about who did it or the motive behind it. I mean, automatically trying to, smear a whole group of people as, responsible for mass shootings. Again, it's disgusting. I think that people need to stop trying to take advantage of these tragic events for political gain. But again, Democrats will never stop doing that because in order to stop doing that, they would have to have a soul, right? And a lot of these liberals and Democrats simply don't have souls, and this is why they do it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.